So I want to move toward talking to you about checklist modification and remind you about what a checklist isn't. A checklist is not an algorithm. It's not a path to follow to be able to fly the airplane. We have to assume that all of us can provide good care to our patients. The checklist can help us provide even better care, but it can't teach you how to do an operation, and it shouldn't teach you to do that. It's not a tool to train people how to do their jobs. People should already know how to do their jobs. And the checklist can be a way to remind you to do the things that are really, really important and might slip memory, but you should already know what to do. And the checklist isn't very good at teaching you things. And finally, we don't want the checklist literally to be a checklist of checking things off and turn into a tick box exercise, because we honestly believe a lot of the power, particularly for our hospitals in the United States, is really in improving the way that we communicate with each other in the operating room. So those are all the things that a checklist isn't. Now here is what a checklist is. It's a reminder for the surgical team to perform or discuss critical safety steps for every patient every time. And as we talk about modification of the checklist, you'll see that that principle, using the checklist as a reminder to do these things, to have discussions in the operating room that are meaningful, short, get the information across, that's what the checklist is really all about. The checklist is meant to be performed as a team, not done in our individual work silos, but to bring everybody together to share that information and check off all those critical safety steps. So I think one of the best places to start would be to show you a little bit about where some of the checklist items actually come from. I want to remind you that the origin of the South Carolina Surgical Safety Checklist actually is traced back to the checklist from the World Health Organization that was released in June of 2008, nearly 3 years ago now. So this is the South Carolina Surgical Safety Checklist, and you can see from the rainbow on it that the items that are listed on the checklist actually come from a number of different places. The three major places, some are drawn from the Joint Commission's Universal Protocol, others are standards of practice. There are skip measures that are embedded on the South Carolina Surgical Safety Checklist to make sure that the patients get what we all intend in terms of the skip measures. And then finally, there's some special things that are on here because of South Carolina.